In this video, I'll be showing you how to make the letter Y using a rubber band loom. So I am using a rainbow loom, but you can use any brand that has the pins in a straight row. And we're only going to be using one row of pins, so I have removed the other 2 rows from my loom. But if you have a loom that the pins don't come off, that's okay. So we're going to start with the arrows facing away, and you're going to need 16 rubber bands to make this letter Y. Now for all of my bands, I am going to double them. So in order to do that, I place it on the hook, twist, and place it back on. Some people like to do it on their fingers, which is fine, but I prefer to use my hook. We're going to be starting on the end, and we're going to place 4 rubber bands on the loom. So this is going to be our first one, and you always want to push down. And then again, we're going to double the next one. It's just going to go right after that one, the very next pin, moving up. Again, you're twisting, putting it back on. Now this is our third. And we have one more that we're doubling and placing on the loom. And now you're going to push all of these down. Now that bottom row of bands is going to stay there until the end. So we're going to place 4 more bands on top of these bands. Again, we're going to start back at the beginning here, and we're doubling. So these are just going to go right on top. And here's our second. So with the bands doubled, they are a little bit tighter, a little bit harder to get on, but it makes it nice and tight to try and keep the letter to hold its shape. And so now we've done 4 bands again, and now what we want to do is on this last pin here, we want to put a cap band that we're going to quadruple. And to do that, you just want to place it on your hook, twist, and put it back on for doubling, twist, put it back on again for tripling, twist, and put it back on again so it's quadrupled. You can see that there are 4 bands on the hook now. It's going to go right on top of this end pin here where we just left off, and it's going to be a little bit hard to do because it's very tight. If you have rubber bands that you feel are very tight and you're having a difficult time, you could just triple this band, but I prefer to quadruple it. And now you want to turn your loom around so the arrows are now facing towards you. And what we're going to do is on this end pin where there are 4 bands, that is the cap band, you want to put your hook down through the middle, get these top 4 bands to go behind your hook, and you're grabbing those next 2 bands. You're not doing anything with the very bottom, and you need to hold this cap band in place so it doesn't come off, and you're moving these bands forward. And now you're going to go up to the next one and do the same thing. Remember, you're not doing anything with the bottom bands. You're just going to go up till you get to the top here. And now we want to take this off, but we don't want it to come off of the end here. We just want to take it off from the cap band. So I'm going to take my thumb and hold this in place, so as I'm taking the rest of it off, it doesn't come off at the top here. And I'm taking my hook and going down through this cap band, and I'm just going to release all of these. And now what I want to do is slide this up. I want to get it pretty much almost to the top here. And now I'm going to turn my loom around again, arrows facing away. I'm going to push this all down on the pin, and I'm going to repeat the same step again. I'm going to do 4 bands, and they're always going to be doubled. It's going to be starting on the end here. and always just going to that next one up. Now this is my third one. And now I have one more. And now I want to put a cap band on this end pin once again. So I'm quadrupling this band. So I just keep wrapping it around until there are 4 bands on. Again, I'm putting it right on top here, and it's going to be tight. And now, once again, I want to turn the loom around so that the arrows are facing towards me. And now, once again, I'm also reaching down through the middle, pushing back on those top 4 bands, grabbing the next 2 bands in line. I want to hold this cap band on with my thumb, and I'm just going to be moving these top 2 bands forward till I get to the end to make sure that they both make it on the pin. And now once again, I'm going to hold this in place with my thumb. I'm going to put my hook through this cap band. I'm going to release these from the pins, all except for the end. And now I want to slide this up from the other direction. So I want them both to be facing pretty close to the top here. And now I want to go back, and now I want to loop these last bands, but first I have to put another cap band on, so I'm quadrupling this band. I'm placing it right on top of the end here, the band that's closest to me. And now I want to take these off of the loom. So I'm putting my hook down through these top 4 bands. Now I'm grabbing these bottom 2, hold this cap band in place, and just move these ahead. Just keep going one right after the other here until we get to the top. And now this top pin is going to be very, very full. What we're going to do is reach the hook down and push it out to the side. This is going to be our last band, which is just going to be the loop at the top. It's going to hold all these in place, so just pull this up through and get the one end back on the hook. So now both bands are there. And now you just want to carefully remove this. Make sure you're holding these 2 bands on your hook because you don't want that to come loose. And on the end here it's going to be very tight to get off. And then just pull this off. And now for these 2 bands on my hook, I'm going to take the bottom one that's closest to the end of the hook, and I'm going to pull it through the other one. And then I'm going to pull tightly so that it makes a nice tight slip knot. And then you might have to play around with your letter a little bit to get it how you want it. So you can just stretch these out. And you want them to be as straight as possible. And then again with the stem here, the same thing. And you want your other band to be right in the middle. And then here you have your letter Y. I hope that everyone found this tutorial fun and easy to do. You can always leave me comments on YouTube or Facebook, and feel free to sign up to my YouTube channel so you can stay up to date on all of my latest tutorials. You can also find me on Pinterest and Instagram, so please feel free to subscribe to those as well. Thanks for watching.